No one could have predicted what would happen when Judge Anthony Trenga threatened to jail Pam Bondi. What followed wasn't just a courtroom drama, it became a national reckoning. Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General and now a high-ranking legal force under the Trump administration, turned the courtroom upside down with revelations that left the entire country reeling. But before we dive into what she uncovered, hit subscribe and let us know where you're watching from. It was a tense morning inside the federal courthouse in Alexandria. Every seat was taken, the hallway packed with press, protesters, and law students. Outside, the crowd roared, Trump supporters waving flags, opponents shouting about justice. Inside courtroom 14A, Judge Trenga, 63, known for his iron will and sharp rulings, entered with the kind of gravitas that silences a room. But even he seemed uneasy that morning. Something was coming. And then Pam Bondi walked in, wearing a navy blue suit tailored to military precision and her expression sharper than any lawyer's cross-examination. She wasn't just another defense attorney. She was the eye of the storm. Known for standing firm in past political hurricanes, she now stood ready to defend a man accused of fraud. But her real target was much larger. As Trenga opened the session, his tone was hostile. "This court will not tolerate theatrics," he warned. Bondi, undeterred, gave a half-smile and began. "The defense moves to dismiss the indictment based on major procedural failures," she said, citing federal law and Fourth Circuit precedents. Her delivery was surgical. Judge Trenga cut her off, accusing her of politicizing the courtroom. "Are you trying to manipulate this court?" he barked. Bondi stood her ground. "I'm defending my client. That's the law." As her arguments intensified, she requested a closed hearing, sparking gasps from reporters. Judge Trenga exploded, slamming his hand on the bench. "Are you challenging my authority?" Unshaken, Bondi invoked Federal Statute 28 FARDA 144, stating a judge must recuse themselves if bias is present. Her words pierced the room. "I believe the fairness of this trial is at risk." Then it happened. She presented a sworn affidavit from a former court employee accusing Trenga of misconduct. The courtroom shuddered, but she wasn't done. She followed with financial records showing $200,000 transferred to a Trenga-linked account by Apex Solutions just 48 hours after he ruled in their favor. Trenga stood up, visibly shaking. "This is slander," he shouted. Bondi didn't flinch. "We also have a recording," she said. A device played Trenga's unmistakable voice. "We need to ensure this person doesn't get off." The silence that followed was deafening. The prosecutor, Sarah Chen, requested a recess. Bondi calmly refused. "This evidence has been sent to the DOJ, FBI, and the Fourth Circuit." Trenga collapsed back into his chair, face drained, voice trembling. "This can't be happening." Then the courtroom door burst open. FBI agents entered. "Judge Trenga," the lead agent announced, "you are under arrest for conspiracy to violate civil rights, bribery, and obstruction of justice." Reporters jumped to their feet. Cameras flashed. "You can't do this," Trenga shouted. "I'm a federal judge." "Judicial immunity doesn't protect criminal acts," the agent replied. As handcuffs clicked around his wrists, the judge's fall became official. He was led out of the courtroom while Bondi stood silently, a mix of resolve and sorrow on her face. Outside, chaos unfolded. Protesters clashed, reporters scrambled, social media exploded. Bondi approached the press, firm but composed. "No one is above the law," she said. This wasn't just a courtroom battle. It was the collapse of a career and the beginning of a nationwide conversation. As the headlines erupted, "Federal judge arrested in his own court," America watched in shock. Judge Trenga, once hailed as a paragon of legal authority, now stood as a symbol of a compromised system. But for Pam Bondi, this was just the beginning. Inside, a dimly lit holding cell, Trenga sat slumped on a cold bench. His once pristine robe gone, His shirt wrinkled. He clutched a half-finished letter to his daughter. "I'm sorry." The words trembled as much as his hands. He had once believed he was a guardian of justice. Now he was a headline. Bondi, meanwhile, stood in her temporary office just blocks away. A message lit up her phone. "The president is proud of you." But her eyes weren't on the praise. She thought of the defendant, wrongly accused, who might finally see justice. That was why she fought. Back at the prosecutor's office, Sarah Chen sat stunned. Before her, a list of every case Judge Trenga had touched, dozens of convictions now tainted. She whispered, "We trusted him." But there was no time for self-pity. "We need to cooperate with the FBI," she said. Her team nodded. This was about more than salvaging careers. It was about restoring faith. Bondi, staring out her window, knew the next battle was already unfolding, not in courtrooms, but on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers demanded hearings. One Democratic senator called Trenga the tip of the iceberg. A Republican congressman praised Bondi. She did what the system wouldn't. On TV, legal analysts debated. Was Bondi a Trump tool or a true agent of justice? Opinions split, but one fact remained. She had exposed a deep rot. Back in her office, Bondi received a second message from Trump's advisor. "You made history." She didn't smile. Instead, she typed, "This is just the first step." For her, the victory wasn't about headlines. It was about accountability, real, painful, and necessary. Meanwhile, Trenga remained in his cell, eyes on the floor, haunted by memories of his early days as a judge, when justice was still sacred to him. One bribe, then another. Just one time, he told himself. But one time became a habit. And now it was over. Bondi's victory was a warning to the judiciary. Her evidence, whistleblower affidavits, financial records, audio recordings, wasn't just about one man. It was about a broken system, and her next mission, to fix it. She proposed judicial reforms, transparency in rulings, financial disclosures, and ethics reviews. Critics called her political. She didn't care. A retrial was granted to the defendant, finally a chance at real justice. His tearful reunion with his family reminded Bondi why she'd taken the oath in the first place. On a live news feed, Bondi addressed the nation. "Justice is not partisan. It is our responsibility." And in that moment, amid a divided America, one truth rang clear. Pam Bondi had shaken the very foundation of the system. Whether loved or hated, she forced the country to reckon with the cost of silence.